With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, it's on to Week 10 already, and we've got a good one in store between the Green Bay Packers and the Baltimore Ravens. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. They'll send the tight end in motion. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Those defense for the Packers, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
Yeah, and what stood out to me on tape, the way they were flying to the football. So that tells me that they've got all their assignments down, and they're playing with extreme confidence.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Jackson to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football.
Brand, I wonder if someone's down there checking on the head coach right now because he might be in a little bit of shock after what just transpired. Instead of a lengthy opening drive to deal with, his guy stepped up and stole that drive away. Momentum on their side now. How will they attack on offense?
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead him to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week, and right now we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air, eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Trying to get away, but could not. It'll go on the books as a sack and a loss of a yard. But more importantly, it leads to 4th down. And his kick is right there. It's good. And the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they'll be looking to make amends for that first drive, which came to a rather abrupt ending.
Certainly did, and I remember going back to my notes before this game, and a lot of times when I scout a guy, I have a little section about how does he handle adversity. And in this case, a big check mark. He may have thrown the first interception, but I don't think he's going to throw very many more.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. That's complete. Left side to Bateman. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, Pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
The Ravens get a new set of downs. Give them 17 on that pickup.
No, we changed it.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. Had about 5 sacks last week. We just saw their first one of this game.
Throwing on second and long. Jackson. And this throw incomplete. Well, the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
Going up top. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Eric Stokes.
But to me, it's pretty simple, and it's fairly obvious, isn't it? He's got to start making better decisions with the ball.
That's now 2 interceptions in the first quarter. After interception number 1, there was a long talk on the sideline, and now he's made another mistake.
Yeah, he's just been kind of laying these passes out there. He's kind of been floating them a little bit. He's got to be more decisive in his reads and definitely more decisive in throwing the ball. Rifle it in there every now and then.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Odafe Oweh in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
And he is going to have a Packers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Chubb running right. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
On play action, they'll throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
That's complete. It's Brandon Ayuk. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 39. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Under pressure, and down he goes. Blowing that play up, Roquan Smith as he gets the sack.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that will be incomplete.
How about this defense? They came up with a couple big plays in this sequence, and none better than the one
forcing the incompletion and bringing up fourth down.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And this one is right down Broadway.
Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And they are losers of 2 straight coming into this Thursday night game. Is it more difficult, CD, when you take a losing streak into a quick turnaround game like this?
It certainly is, because you don't get time to work on the issues that you've had throughout the season that caused you to have the record that you're having. You can't really get those set. So now you're trying to minimize those and maximize what you've been doing well. And I remember a game recently where one of the assistant coaches said to the head coach, forget our running back rotation. This guy has a hot hand, and they rode him to a victory. Those are things you have to look out for in games like this.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
The plan was clearly to challenge them by sending a blitz on second down, but even the extra guys couldn't catch him in the backfield, though. He doesn't scramble for a first, but he does get the last laugh by evading the blitz and getting beyond the line of scrimmage.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Throwing left side, it's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. How about that? They weather the storm of a 3rd and 17 to pick up the first. From the gun, Jackson. He sets to fire deep. Oh, and for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. And the Ravens are going to get the football back at their own 17. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training. So he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, and instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. They run it again with Chubb, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. They're going to look to throw. Touchdown, Packers! Robert Woods his first touchdown on the year. And they're able to add on to their advantage. Extra point right down the middle. And the lead now stands at 13. So the Packer kickoff team set to go as they will kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
From the 31, Jackson. And he'll spot Higgins open left side. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Flush to his right.
That's complete to his receiver, Bateman.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
I hate to say it, Charles, but the way that he has played in this first half, you just kind of hold your breath every time he drops back to pass.
Yeah, you might be holding your breath, but those guys on the defensive side of the ball, they've got big smiles on their faces. He's handing out picks like the people just leave the candy out at Halloween and you take what you want. They're having a blast out there playing against him today.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. The danger of a punt that good, a 16-yard return. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity. As this old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
Well, they approached this drive with a lot of confidence after their last one ended up as a touchdown. But incompletions on their first 2 throws has them huddling up and trying to figure out a big play here on 3rd down to get their momentum going again.
And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A pretty good effort there, 9 yards, but not enough. We'll likely see the punt team now on 4th down.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. This is fielded at the 7. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're certainly in need of some kind of points here before the end of the half. A field goal or something, being shut out right now. They can really use some momentum before they head into halftime. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number one. After the sack on first down, Jackson. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
And my goodness, another interception. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw his second interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years. But here we go. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Ravens force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27.
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
And they worked this well upfield across the 45. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
2nd and 11. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Marcus Williams. And the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind. And we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
From the 24, Jackson.
Throw right side here, taken in by Bateman. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
It's 2nd and 7 from the 9.
Up the middle they go. Hannah. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Throwing is Jackson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And in for the Ravens touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Ravens' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Tucker able to connect on the extra point. And it's now 13-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum is sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on 1st down. A set back on 2nd.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Kyler Gordon picks it off, and the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. Boy, Charles, that is now 3 interceptions in 3 consecutive drives, and you can see he's just got a look of disgust and bad body language, understandably, as he walks off the field.
And I think it comes from the fact that he's not sure what he sees down the field, Brandon. I don't know if he's seeing ghosts. I don't know if he just can't read defenses. I'm not sure what it is, but that's why he's frustrated. Think about the defense right now. Every time they run on the field, they've gone from hoping to intercept the pass to expecting to intercept passes. Their confidence at an all-time high right now.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable, and that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they've brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
2nd and 10. Here's Jackson again. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the 1st down. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They go play action now. Jackson. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And the Ravens are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
Well, he does have 1 touchdown in the game already, and while this one won't go for 6, it's enough to get him 1st and goal. But you and I both know he's going to be a little upset he didn't cross the goal line for a 2nd time in this one.
Might want the ball here on the next play. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. And they'll try the option on 1st and goal. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50.
And the Ravens are an extra point away from taking the lead.
Tucker with the extra point, and that will put them on top here in the third. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back. I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Back to throw now on first down.
That ball caught. Brandon Ayuk. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. They give the Chubb out of the gun. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith. One quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. Airing it out deep for Woods. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown, Packers. Robert Woods with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game.
And the Packers answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead.
So here we go. The Packers will line up to go for 2. They'll try and throw for it. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And it's picked up by the Ravens.
Well, that 2-point attempt failed due to the fumble, but people can't see this. But you got a ball in your hands now, and you got the thing locked in pretty well. You got it covered up.
I love having a football in the booth. I always hang on to it. Makes me feel like I actually played back in my day.
Well, you probably could have. If you had run that play, you would not have fumbled. I can tell you that.
Maybe. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And at this stage, in the 4th, they need to work this into the end zone. A field goal doesn't do much. We'll see if they can cash in following the fumble recovery.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's second down. Now a handoff up the middle. Hannah. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the first down.
They'll throw on first down with Jackson. He finds Bateman over the middle. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
On second down now, Hannah. And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33. 45 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point. I tell you, they didn't give it to him much for the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Yeah, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
And now here is another interception. And the Packers are going to get the football here at their own 23. Well, that puts a little bit of a wrinkle in their comeback bid.
Yeah, everything had turned around for them, hadn't it? I mean, things were now going their way. But you did mention it's a wrinkle in their comeback bid. It's not the death knell for them by any stretch, but now they've got some extra work to do in order to climb all the way back.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Well, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try to chip away at his timing.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. They'll look to throw. Got a man. It's Tunyon. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 38-yard line. That's a third down conversion to 24 yards there. Nice play. So the ball moves from 138 to the other as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down. Well, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down.
I think it's pretty evident we can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Third down, he'll drop to throw. He's got Tunyon complete over the middle. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 25-yard line. Give him 15 there, and the Packers have a first.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
first down. They'll go to the ground attack. A little second effort there on the strong run. And then drop just inside of the 20. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. They'll go with the option, coming right. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down. Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
Yeah, they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
And trouble trying the middle here. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. Ravens going to use their third and final timeout as they get under 26 seconds to go in the football game. And they'll indeed take a knee.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something. And they did in this one. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And you've got to say, CD, it was the defense who had a big part in the W.
No, without question. When you force 4 turnovers, you get to enjoy the spoils of victory, don't you? It's rare that you force 4 turnovers and lose a ball game. That's almost unheard of. They carried this one home. You talk about celebrating with